All right, ESPN ranks their players by position. They come out with a top 10 for their safeties, and Grant Delpit was not in the top 10. He was the highest-rated Brown safety, but he was among those that received honorable mention.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm wondering, do you guys believe that he should have been in the top 10? And also, do you think that this is why there's a little hang-up in his contract?
I don't know. Can we see the list, Anthony?
There it is.
So Kyle Hamilton.
I totally agree with number one.
Yeah.
Totally.
I mean, he's not better than any of those guys.
1 and 2 were unanimous. 1 and 2, by the way.
And I think they should have been.
Yeah,
those two are the guys. Actually, outside of that, guys, I'm just going to be honest.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I know this first page.
Some of those are good, very good players.
My guess is 6 through 10. I'm going to have no clue if they're better than Grant Delpit.
Yeah,
but
right.
Why don't you show us, Anthony, anyway?
Yep,
we have
One second, we're pulling up a special box here.
Ooh.
Yeah, 6 was Nicky Mamori. 7
See,
was Anthony
I have no
Winfield
idea.
Jr., Buda Baker.
Okay,
Kirby
Winfield
Joseph.
Jr. is a guy.
I mean, I've heard of these guys, but I don't know. To say whether they're better than Grant Delpit,
I don't know.
I'm not going to be a phony. I have no idea.
Yeah, I mean, arguing whether he should be 12 in honorable mention versus 6.
Yeah, where did he end up in the honorable mention? Because it seems like they've been doing it in order.
Top 10, and then they have others that were honorable mention.
They have honorable mention in alphabetical order, and then they just have received votes. I think this, though, and these are the other honorable mention people alongside Delpit, was Watts, who was a rookie last year, Kobe Bryant.
So he's probably somewhere between 8 and 15.
Yeah.
Fine, he's a good player.
Yeah.
You and I actually were having this conversation in the gym the other day, and this is the whole Grant Delpit dilemma the Browns are in. He wants a contract extension.
Right.
The Browns are in a situation now where they don't have a plethora of good players. You would think, hey, we want to pay our good players. The issue is, does Grant Delpit, with this contract extension, fit their window to win? And are you going to pay a safety? He's currently the 17th highest paid safety in football. That's probably too low for where he is ranked. He's better than the 17th safety in football. But if you look at those lists, number 6 is a rookie last year.
Yeah, so those guys are on rookie contracts.
Xavier Watts,
There's
who was
another
also
rookie in there too, I think.
Xavier Watts, who was honorable mention, is also a rookie. Most of those guys are younger. Hamilton and Derwin James have obviously gotten paid. Jesse Bates has gotten paid. But for the most part, you can find other safeties on cheap contracts. It's a position that oftentimes free agency is lowered at the position. You can find guys in the draft.
And how old is Delpit? He's 28?
27 or 28.
I'd say 27.
So
I don't think it makes sense.
It just puts you in a weird contract
it's a
situation
tough spot.
because is he going to fit your timeline to when you want to maximize paying a player?
Yeah.
The money
and you just drafted a safety very high.
Yeah.
You know, and that doesn't mean, I don't know, it's a tricky spot.
Delpit's a good player.
You don't want to just let him walk. It'll be interesting to see if they end up trading him, you know, especially if they're bad this year at the trade deadline, which they probably will be.
Well, last year they pulled off a trade with a defensive back. I thought it worked out very well for them.
It worked out very well,
and so maybe that seems to be Andrew Berry's sweet spot. Maybe that's what he does. Maybe he waits to see where they are in mid to late October.
Yeah.
And if the season's already gone sideways, then work a deal, try to get future picks. Obviously, draft capital is something that's very important to this organization. So I think that's probably a likely scenario. But you're right, Mike. He's just one of those tweeners. He's really caught, and the Browns are caught in this almost limbo space where they don't want to overpay him. They don't want to lock him down for more than they need to if they don't have to. But I can understand why Grant Delpit would say, look, I want to be paid like a top 12.
And he deserves to get paid.
He's good, but not great.
Yeah.
He's older, but not too old.
Yeah.
And the Browns, are they going to be good next year? Maybe.
Yeah.
But it might not be 3 years. And he's not going to be that good in 3 years, probably.
And if that's the case, that's not a position that you have to focus on immediately.
No, right.
They can fix that in the draft down the road. So
especially again,
I like him. I think he has had some ups and downs.
Yeah,
I like his leadership. I like his work ethic. I like his attitude.
Yeah.
I used to talk about the importance of each position group with NFL general managers, and I always just try to gauge how are they thinking collectively.
Yeah.
You know, obviously, if quarterback is number one, and that's really a no-brainer. But then there are some general managers that highly prioritize a pass rushing defensive end that can get at quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Others look at wide receivers, left tackles, and all of that stuff. And for me, the blanket cover corner was kind of separated from the position group. Like, GMs didn't want to lump them in with safeties.
Right.
Because they felt like they were much more important. But I'll never
100%.
forget, a general manager once told me, and I thought this was one of those things that has since come true as you watch the game play out. Because, safety isn't one that's going to be on high on a lot of general managers' lists. But take a good safety off your team once. and then see how important it was.
Well, look how the Ravens
that's
used
true.
Kyle Hamilton or the Chargers used Derwin James. They're the queen on defense.
Absolutely.
The biggest,
they can move around and
I
do so
think
many
the
things.
biggest reason, like when the Bengals went to the Super Bowl and they had gone to the playoffs 3 years in a row, their defense was pretty good. It wasn't amazing, but they had a pretty good defense. And now that the last few years, their defense has been terrible. I think the biggest reason was losing Jesse Bates.
Yeah.
And they lost some other guys, and they made some bad draft picks on defense. But losing Jesse Bates was the biggest difference.
Yeah.
And one thing on Delpit,
Yeah.
and it actually got mentioned in a little write-up on him, why he was honorable mention, he doesn't create a ton of turnovers. And at that position...
Yeah. And that's it. He's not
Yeah.
that elite level, that top 5 level. And so I don't know that he's worth paying. He's a good player, but he's just not special.
He's not a game changer.
Yeah.
And real
That's
quick,
right.
so Kalen Bullock, who came in at number 10, second-year guy in Houston,
Yeah.
had 6 picks last year. Delpit has 7 in his career.
Yeah.
And the
Big
force,
difference.
it's just like some guys at the position,
They can
you
ball
can take
hawk.
the rest. They're more of a ball hog. Now, Delpit's not necessarily. He's more of a post safety. He's the guy that's really good against the run. He can play in that kind of hybrid linebacker role,
Yeah.
but he's not a guy forcing fumbles,
Right. Now,
picking the ball off, changing the game with those turnovers.
I give him I mean, it's been enough years, but Bullock plays for a really good Seahawks team,
Texans.
plays for a really good Texans defense.
Yeah.
And I know the Browns had a good defense, but the Texans have been a good team. Not as good as Seattle, but they've been good, right?
Even Warrior, who was a rookie last
And
year,
even
is
Warrior,
number 6
right.
on the list.
So those, much like with Myles Garrett, the crazy thing about Myles Garrett's numbers are he doesn't get as many pass rushing opportunities as the pass rushers on good teams because the Browns are not often winning and the teams they're playing are not often forced to throw against
late
them.
in the game, right?
Same thing for Grant Delpit. You're not getting as many opportunities. Now that doesn't, that only plays a part of this, but still.
I think it's a factor, though.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
it does weigh into it.
Yeah.
One thing, this is off topic, but you mentioned Myles Garrett. I wanted to bring this up because I wasn't watching intently, but I was watching closely enough that I was shocked when he was done talking because I didn't hear it. Did you guys watch the ESPYs?
I did not.
No.
Okay. During his ESPY speech, maybe someone can email us and correct me if I'm wrong. He thanked everybody. He thanked his wife, his girlfriend.
Did he win best NFL player?
He won best record-breaking performance.
Okay.
And he thanked everybody. He thanked his personal team, his weight trainer, his parents, his girlfriend, his agent, on and on and on. And if I'm wrong, someone please correct me. I never heard him thank any of his Browns teammates, which was stunning to me.
None of his teammates really said anything on social media when they traded him. We talked about that on the show.
No, I know.
Kind of radio
okay,
silence.
so that's the first salvo, but I've always looked at when someone tells you who they are, listen. And I think that he's told us who he was the last 3 years. When he came out publicly and said, I want to win Defensive Player of the Year, that didn't sit well with me at the time. I said so on this show. I hate that kind of talk. Look, if you go out and play well, those awards will happen. Players in August should not be talking about I want to go over 2,000 yards. I mean, granted, if you do something like that, you're going to help the team, and it's likely the team's going to win. But when you're talking about goals for the season, keep them team-based. And then throughout the last 3 years, he clearly was not hiding his hunger for breaking that record, and that's fine. But a lot of guys do that with humility and silence, and he was pretty vocal about it. And it was odd, too, watching him celebrate on a 5-12 team as he broke the sack record.
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought it was too much about me. And then when he gets the award, he doesn't mention his teammates or his defensive coordinator or anything. I just thought that was telling and odd.
I didn't have any problem with during the season him, being that
vocal about the record.
Yeah, I don't have any problem with that at all. But yes, I mean it is to some degree it comes off as selfish. I can understand that.
Yeah.
I'd probably thank my teammates in that situation, but
I know you would. I think I know you well enough.
Yeah.
If you win Best Podcaster of the Year, there's not a chance that you get up there and accept that award.
Right.
And don't thank Mikey for making you look good every day with graphics and video.
That's
the team. It's a team thing.
Yeah. He should have done that, if in fact he didn't. So that part is disappointing.
A little disappointing. But you're right. his teammates weren't exactly crying over the spilled milk when he
Now,
came
I don't think he had a bad relationship with his teammates, but they weren't emotionally.
Well, do you think it was telling that his teammates didn't all come out and immediately say, yes, we're going to miss him. It was great playing with him. What a great teammate.
Yeah,
none of that.
I do think it was telling. I don't think it's because guys didn't necessarily dislike him, but maybe they were more neutral on him than.
I think I lean more.
It was just like there was no emotional attachment. He wasn't maybe necessarily close
and for
with guys.
someone that's that good of a player,
you'd think there'd be. It is right.
They also maybe have known.
Jared Verse was more missed in L.A. by his teammates. You saw the reaction comments and quotes from guys in L.A. that were saying, "Oh my God, well, we're getting the greatest to ever do it, perhaps.
Yeah,
but we're gonna miss." And we didn't see any of that from the Browns teammates. None.